Okay, so
There you go.
welcome
Yep.
everyone. Welcome to the podcast of Foodstaarr, where we deep dive into the journeys of remarkable individuals shaping the culinary world. I am Ritobrata, and today I have the honor of speaking with a chef whose work has redefined Indian cuisine on the global stage. From the vibrant streets of Punjab to earning a Michelin star in record time, Chef Rohit Ghai's culinary journey is nothing short of inspiring. As the visionary behind renowned restaurants like Kutir, Manthan, and his latest venture, Vatavaran, Chef Ghai masterfully blends tradition with innovation, bringing bold flavors and rich stories to every plate. Today, we will explore his passion for food, the art of modern Indian cuisine, and the philosophies that drive his success. So, whether you are a food enthusiast, as an inspiring chef, or simply curious about the mind behind the flavors, I think this conversation is for you. Let's welcome Chef Rohit Ghai to the show.
Hi, Ritabrata. Sorry. Hi, Ritabrata. Thank you so much for the fabulous opportunity, considering me for the live podcast. Thank you so much. And yeah, I would love to share my experience. I mean, my journey so far.
Chef, I will start with a personal journey and inspiration because I believe it's not that we just start off like from today or tomorrow onwards, we're gonna be a chef. It's a journey, it's an inspiration. So,
It
like from
is.
Punjab to the global culinary scene.
Yeah.
To start off, I mean, what is your cultural experience that you think that shaped your culinary identity?
See, first of all, I'm from my background is from the Punjabi family, and I belong to the Punjabi family, and we grown up in the food because the Punjabi food is pretty much popular and everyone's loved it, especially on the northern side. But obviously, we are talking about our early days actually. But now you can see the food become a passion for a lot of people,
A lot of
and
people.
obviously it's it's not gonna happen overnight. There's a lot of struggle. You have to be very patient, especially while we talking about Indian food, because Indian food, in my belief, I think it's all about uh, the passions and flavors, and obviously now you can see there's a lot of people like they explore. They wanted to go to international exposure, and they explore a lot of the depth of the Indian food if we talk about. So in my belief, when when we started working, let me tell you the entire story in short. I started working with my mom at my at home only, even though it was not work, even though in those days I never thought I'm gonna be in the hospitality industry. So being a youngest kid in the family, after the school final exams, I used to spend a lot of time with her. And my family, my parents, they are pure vegetarian. But my mother, she used to make a lot of a lot of stuff at home, being Punjabi, being foodie, and he used to make fabulous vegetarian dishes. Even though he never used mixer grinder to make a dips or anything. According to her, if we use obviously the blender and mixer, you can see the difference between if we use it motor pestle, or if we use the same recipe with blender, you can see the difference. So she always preferred
Absolutely.
like proper home style, home cook. And I still remember I used to make it in a triangular paratha at home, miniatures, like very tiny, according to me. That was good thing, and I used to make it almost like 3 4 times a week. So I learned a lot of things from her, and she always said, the food is it's an art, and obviously when you make it with your heart and soul, when you feed someone, then obviously your final product will turn automatically fabulous, outstanding.
True,
So
true.
in my journey, I always try to accommodate all those things, even though her recipes, uh, for the vegetarian stuff, or because we do a lot of contemporary style food in London in my restaurants. So we try to take a lot of inspiration from her recipes, and that's how it happened. And secondly, when I jumped into this industry, I started working with the Oberoi Hotel. So I spent a lot of time with them, learned a lot of things. Those days we used to work like 14, 15 hours. It was a very difficult journey, very tough journey. Standing
Absolutely.
constantly 14, 13, 14 hours. It's not a joke. And those days we used to prep, onion, tomatoes, ginger, garlic, everything we used to do it with our hands, knives. But now, the technology, if we talk about technology, it makes a lot of, it takes a lot of pressure out out of the game, because you now you will have slicer if you want slicing, you will have fabulous equipment, quick, that will reduce your time as well. The media prep timing will be reduced because of the technology. But in those days we used to cut it like 50 kg onions slice with hand only.
True.
uh,
I mean, this reminds me, Chef, when I started my journey, I was doing engineering, and I mean I wanted to be in culinary only. So
uh
somebody told me that you go to a hotel, do a training, and if you complete 1 month, then family will consider that you continue your journey of hotels. So I thought, okay, क्या ही होगा? Let's go. I mean, क्या करना है? I'm seeing Chef Kunal Kapoor and Ranveer Brar doing all this fancy stuff in the TV. So I thought, okay, that's gonna be the life. And the same thing you were saying, Chef, 50 kg of potato, 50 kg of onion and tomato. And then I was like, why am doing this? Chef Kunal is not doing the thing. And now I have only one option left. Either I come back home, be a engineer, what I don't want to be, or else I continue. And in that matter, I thought, okay, कल देख लेता हूँ, नहीं तो मैं चला जाऊंगा. And this tomorrow, finally I completed 1 month, and then I realized that what you see in a screen and what is reality in a kitchen, both are
yeah,
different.
exactly.
Both are different.
Even though my mentor chef, he's not anymore, but obviously I learned a lot of things from him. Working with him, it was such an honor. And obviously he he always pushed me to try out new dishes. So then how I started, like after my routine work, I used to make one dish a day. So getting a lot of inspiration from the legendary chefs in India. So we used to make our own notes, try out new dishes with different flavors and ingredients. But now, to be honest, that kind of things, I personally, I notice people, they don't have that kind of spark anymore. They doesn't want to work hard. Obviously, in our industry, hospitality is very much demanding. There's
Very different.
no social life at all. So you have to just work, work, and work.
Yeah, absolutely. That friends, family, and festivals, forget this 3F, my training and placement officer told me when I was in college. Uh, so, I mean, and I think, some part, every chef has a very common, inspiring story. That paratha, that ghar ka khana, like you told that triangle paratha. So my mom used to make that triangle paratha, putting some sugar into it, and she used to cook it some
Yeah.
once in a week. So I think that is relatable, and I believe if we talk about another 10 chefs, Indian chefs, those who are from India, they have similar kind of connections, and
Even though I
uh,
think these are all childhood memories, and obviously these are the basics things you can find everywhere, especially in India,
everywhere,
at every household.
every household. Uh, Chef, like now, I mean, with an Indian heritage, now you are the food you are making that is more global. Definitely, it is Indian, or maybe it is a progressive Indian or modern Indian, but it is global food with the Indian heritage. And that Kutir, Manthan, Vatavaran that you're restaurant names. Again, the names are very interesting. It is not like any traditional kitchen name or restaurant name kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Uh, so there, I want to know that the different. I'm sure three different restaurant has three different concept. And your heritage of Indian food in with a global influence. How do you see it, and how do you thought that you wanna do this three different concept with three different fantastic names?
See, the first of all, if we talk about Kutir, is obviously to create the concept, we always consider the right location. Location makes huge difference. So obviously, Kutir in Sanskrit, it's a small cottage.
Small cottage,
So
yeah.
yeah, so Kutir is like located in the residential area in London, the area called Chelsea, which is very nearby Knightsbridge, where the Harrods and all the big brands, fancy showrooms are there. And Kutir is basically located in the proper heart of the residential area. So when we saw the location, we thought, this name will definitely work. And obviously, that when people come in the restaurant, they won't feel like they are dining in the commercial area. So they feel like a home. And we at Kutir we put the doorbell as well. So they have to press the doorbell to get into the restaurant. And obviously the interiors are fabulous, and that is mainly focused on we do all the food, but obviously the inspiration it's came from the hunting lodges. So where we serve during the winter game period, we do a lot of game menu. So tasting game menu, which is I think in India is not available. So in Europe, people they loved it, and obviously a lot of foodie people they wanted to have seasonal stuff. So that's how the Kutir happened. And the Manthan actually we started working. We found the location in Mayfair, and it happened during the first COVID closure time. So we had a phone call with our PR team as well. So we was doing brainstorming. So they said Rohit, after your long journey in hospitality, let's do something because the size of the place is it's smaller than what we have in Kutir. So we have to make it very quick turnaround operation. So we stick to a lot of street food across from India, and we showcase all the street food at Manthan, and the name came during the it was happened in the during the COVID time. So Manthan is means churning.
Chutney.
The Samudra Manthan happened, and also my PR company they relate the story with my culinary journey. They said, it could be a skills, churning up your skills. So whatever the outcome come, let's stick to the street food thing. So the name, theme, and the approach of the food, it works really well. In London, we strongly thought the theme concept should, and obviously the food should work very, very perfectly. It should link to each other. So that's how we create the concept. And the Vatavaran, very recently, it happened November last year. We have a massive, place. Is one of the biggest project for us in our portfolio. So with the capacity of 120 cover setup. So it's a whole building basically, and we got three different floors. So Vatavaran happened because we just wanted to create a vibe, at different floors. So first floor I've got mezzanine kitchen where we do live cooking, and obviously it's dedicated to the grill where we put individual and different cooking equipment. So we are using a lot of grills for that particular section. So rotisserie, charcoal tandoor, we got sigdi as well. So a lot of things coming out, and people they enjoy, watching chefs working in action, like all these things. Food is cooking, prep, and doing presentation, everything. So it's a live kitchen, and on the another floor we got a different approach in the color theme, in the sitting arrangement, and obviously the design inspired through Himalayas. So we try and
Himalayas,
use,
yes.
yeah. So Vatavaran, it's all about the atmosphere, the vibes. So we try to do it, and obviously we got in the weekends we have a DJs as well. So since we opened, we have done a lot of private events as well. So
Hmm.
as I said previously, the location and the concept, these are the most important thing.
So, and I also believe that the more you grow in your life, like I can relate with myself that there was a time when I was much more interested into your only the modern things, only the modern techniques and everything. Now the more days are passing by, I am getting connected with the root a bit more. Like instead of mixer blender, I use your dosa grinder, that old school grinder for making chutneys because sil batta to kitchen में कोई use नहीं करेगा अभी. And but again, the difference of chutneys, the when we make the biryani masalas into those wet grinders, stone grinders, the flavors are literally much more better than the typical electric grinders.
That's right.
And like I believe the kind of work, like beautiful fusion of tradition and innovation. This tradition and innovation, if somebody can blend, and then it becomes more interesting. As you already told us about the Vatavaran concept, Himalayas. Uh, I'm sure that you have taken dishes from the Himalayas and tried to do it in your own ways.
No, actually, the Himalayan food are slightly different than what we normally cook on north or west side, because obviously I don't want to mismatch the concept, because we clearly say and target to bring all the the color themes, the design and approach from the Himalayas,
Okay,
although we consider the spices from Himalayas, like pink peppercorn, stone fungus, and other ingredients. Timur. Timur is very much
Timur.
popular, right?
Yes,
So yeah,
yes,
so these kind of spices I consider, but the food obviously, when we compare the north frontier kitchen, the cuisine, what we have with Himalayas, it's slightly different. So I'm not doing any kind of the momos, tupka, and all that stuff, but obviously we consider still the spices, even though for the cocktails, to get little element from the Himalayas, but obviously the food is not inspired from Himalayas.
okay, okay. So
only only
they
the only the design and the color theme, basically.
color theme and the spices that you are getting that you are using.
Exactly.
I think that is also a kind of inspiration. Not necessarily you need to always take the dishes and do it in
Yeah.
your own way.
Y- yeah.
You you can take the elements and the way you are tweaking
Exactly.
it to making it your own.
Because obviously if I say the Himalayan food, the restaurant is the food is from Himalaya, it will be completely wrong statement, because the grills and everything, it belongs to north kitchen only, the kebabs and all that stuff, even though the biryani and all. So rather than setting up a misleading, example, and we always clearly mention, even though over the website as well, the design only inspired from the Himalayas.
But not that.
Mhm.
Now, I have a very interesting question, Chef, because like you are running a fancy kitchen as well. I mean, where you definitely doing dishes which are small portions, experiential dining, because that's how Michelin comes to your place. And there are many chefs, young chefs, we want to do the same thing, experiential dining, small portions, storytelling. Now, one part becomes sometimes difficult, which is the, sustainability. One is that, and another one is your uh, controlling the, different ingredient in a different way. where
Yeah.
you procure very less wastage, but you keep your, flavor and presentation intact, no compromise on that. So how do you connect this bridge of sustainability with the flavor and other things intact?
See, as I said previously, the Indian food is all about the flavors. Obviously, the food trend is in London. It's always getting changed. Every year, you will find something, some sort of new concepts and all this thing. But obviously, uh, to survive in London, to run the business successfully, you need your, regular clientele to get a full
Yes,
support from them. And obviously, we do a little bit of, like, contemporary, slightly fusion style food, but we always careful when while doing all the stuff. We always keep it in mind. We shouldn't lose the flavors of Indian food. If people are coming, because Indian food is very well regarded across the globe, and
yes.
because of the different spices, the range what we have in our kitchen, in our Indian cuisine, the depth of Indian food, the depth of flavors, we cannot compromise that. Even though I can give you a little example, like, the samosa is one of the very popular street food. Wherever you go, you will easily find samosa everywhere, right? But the only thing is, the boring thing, samosa is made with the puff, like, the dough. You have to make the dough, and obviously the stuffing always as usual, potato and green peas, coriander stuff, and all that stuff. So I've got one very signature dish in my Kutir menu. So I inspired the basically sometime we do charred cauliflower. So tandoori cauliflower we cooked in the tandoor, marination and everything. Apply on that, and then we'll chop it up. We make the stuffing of the tandoori cauliflower in, and put it into the samosa parcel. So I love doing working on the textures. So samosa, this was the one part. So made the samosa with tandoori cauliflower. At home we make it lot of aloo gobi. So rather than using aloo gobi, I made the gobi only with lot of ginger and cumin and little bit of spices. Finished with the garam masala and all, and we made the chutney with that. So
Okay.
yeah, so different textures of the cauliflower. So samosa and cauliflower chutney, and obviously cauliflower pickle, desiccated cauliflower macerated on top of it, and obviously dehydrated cauliflower. So you will have at least 5 to 6 different elements, different textures of cauliflower in the same plate, and people they keep, I mean, they're loving it.
Uh, I mean, uh, like this small changes or that addition thinking, I think makes the dishes elevate the dishes. I would say. It's a samosa, but when you are explaining this to somebody, it creates a story, your thought process, and I think that is what people nowadays like when they are coming to a restaurant like Vatavaran or Manthan. It is, I believe they are not only coming there for your only for the food. I mean, definitely food is a part,
They
but
always
then
come
there's a
for the
story
experience, actually.
experience actually. Exactly. Uh, Chef, I would like to know that like, you have worked with Michelin star chefs. I mean, before you, when you moved outside.
Actually, since I moved to UK, I was heading Michelin-Star kitchens. That is the interesting story.
Yes, because you are one of the Indian chef who got to within a year. I mean, less than a year of a
Yeah, 10 months time. Yeah.
of a start, 10 months. Yes, and that's inspiring. I mean, I don't. I'm sure about others, but here when I'm speaking, I also see a dream of that someday. But uh, what makes a kitchen different so when you get a Michelin, or what is the things people should keep in mind? I mean, like for
See,
me or for others, those who are
Mi-
seeing the dream.
the Michelin, it's a big organization, actually, and they work like a spy. So if they come, they visit your place. Obviously, they won't tell you, but
Hmm.
the major criteria for them is to consider in their book is the food has to be consistent and a lot of local produce and seasonal stuff, and the price point. So since I came to UK, there was a practice. Actually, a lot of people they asked me the same question: how did you manage to do all this stuff? How did you fulfill the criteria for Michelin and all? But obviously, from the first day since I was in the Michelin-Star kitchen, so there was a practice like the following standard recipes. Yeah, and keeping eye on each and everything, like these are become a very basic practice to me and my kitchen brigade, because whenever we have done the new concepts, obviously from the first day, team always it's very, sometimes you have to be very strict with the entire kitchen team to
Yes,
follow the recipes. So these are my basic practice. Even though before kicking off the service, I have to check and taste everything to make sure. So these people, they always come. You never know, they will come. You hardly recognize them. They won't make any any impression or anything. They won't leave any clue for for you
yes,
to recognize them. So they will come. Sometimes they come in the group. Sometimes they come alone. So it's very difficult to hard. So we have to make sure whoever comes, they should get the same experience from the front, from the service point of view, from the kitchen. So we have to consider as a one to everyone.
absolutely, absolutely.
So that is
And
very, very much important.
uh, so when you are doing all those things, that also there was a creative part when you are talking about your dish and you explain how did you incorporate one element but different texture. That's the creative part. And the second part that you told that you need to go to the kitchen, check everything, cross-check everything, uh, and this becomes the leadership part. So uh, I'm sure that you have a big team. I mean, you are running three kitchens and that too in UK. So how do you manage to inspire your people, influence or I might say influence your team, or you think that you guided them or everybody should guide?
See, till now, I'm cooking. I'm very much hands-on. I'm cooking myself along with my team, even though I run the pass as well during the busy days. And obviously, to give them a training, I have to shadow in each and every part. Even though, for example, like quarterly we change the menu for 20-30%. So running three restaurant at same place, obviously to make sure each and everything, it's a big challenging part. And to make sure what I personally do, I spend a lot of time. For example, like Kutir. Kutir happened till the time the team gets settled. I was there every day during the preparations, during the service, to make sure the standard should maintain from every single person. So we got head chef, we got full hierarchy, but obviously in terms of train them, I take personally to make everything, you know, uh, everything should be done in a positive way, and obviously they should get a proper training. So that's what we make sure from our side. So I spend a lot of time at the new, at the new place like Vatavaran. I'm spending a lot of time at the Vatavaran, because Kutir is more settled down. The team knows what exactly we need, what are the goals we need to achieve, and Manthan is also the same. So we always do, the projects in, it's not like back to back, but obviously we always give enough time to the team to to just settle down and grab the right approach. And obviously we are human, sometimes it happen ups and down, but that is how we spend time. Like every day I spend little bit of time in each and every restaurant. But now, as I said, the Vatavaran is a newborn baby, so I have to spend a lot of
Newborn
time
baby.
there to make sure everything is smooth.
Absolutely. And and I think that on the toes kind of a thing. I also believe in that until and unless you are on the toes, I think the team is also on the toes, and after a certain period of time, they understand your philosophy, your style of work, and eventually things starts going on
Yeah.
flow. Shiv, you already told about your mentor, but like when I'm I would like to know a little bit more about him that you already told that he used to push you for doing one dishes every day and the things. Is there any particular dish that you still feels good to make or cook that you learned from your mentor and you think that that will stay with you forever?
See, I've got the because there's a there was a big difference while working in India and when I came to UK. It was a different world to me, and obviously, working with him in India, there was a dream to me to go London and get international exposure because UK is one of the biggest foodie hub in my belief in for our industry, where you will see a lot of miracle, like legendary chefs. All of them, they are from Europe only. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them, and they create the history actually about the food. They took the food onto different level. So I used to ask him all the time. I said, chef, I really want to go and grab some international exposure and all this stuff. So he always tried to. He said, you that time there was a lot of demand for Indian chef, and still it continues. And obviously, I learned a lot of things. And Indian food is not about Indian food has a lot of depth and different departments. It's all about the passion and the hunger, how much you have inside. So he always said to me all the time, Rohit, you should learn the tandoor, the sweet section, the curries, and obviously the bulk cooking as well.
Yes.
So after spending 25 years in Indian kitchen, I still believe every day for me, if I meet different people, we learn a lot of things. There's a learning every single day. Even though I won't say I have done the masters in Indian food, but obviously I still try to learn, depth of Indian food. So we can't say that we know Indian food, we are Indian chefs and all. If we go everywhere, India is a vast country. Wherever you go, you will learn everything, different things, new things in
Yes.
each and every corner. But obviously, it's completely depend on the person approach, you know. So I still believe there's a lot of things to learn, especially in our Indian cuisine.
Yeah, because there are a lot of spices and you can do the perforation combination and every
Exactly.
combination brings a new flavor. And I believe like nowadays chefs like you, those who have started documenting this thing, your recipes, your thing, I think that was one thing which was missing previously, that we didn't documented our cuisine
Yeah.
and thus we, started hunting the recipes. Sorry. But now I'm really, I mean, when I see there are chefs like you and other people, those who are documenting the Indian things, eventually that made people like me realize working in kitchen that if we are doing a new kebab, we are documenting it, we are measuring it, and hence it will never go wrong, and that recipes will continuously flow to somebody to from me to you to someone else. But at least there will be a recipe. There just not be a name that अच्छा ये कबाब बनाया था लेकिन recipe तो है नहीं. So I think that is one thing we have learned from you that documenting things which is very necessary.
It is
Uh,
very important in terms of to maintain the consistency for the dishes.
yes,
So what we
yes.
have done, we try, we do. I can give you another example. Like every quarter we change. We have a habit of changing the menu. So first of all,
Hmm.
we do a brainstorming among us, among the team basically, and we give them okay. For example, like let's say uh, chicken kebab. So we said, the chicken is, it's too much now, so we have to replace kebab element with something else. So what it could be. So everyone come up with their thoughts. So we try and create the dishes like that. We always there's nothing like I'm just talking to my chef. I do open conversation with my entire team because you never know, someone have better idea. So
Very
we
right.
try, yeah, we put everything together, all the thoughts, everyone's thought together, and then we take the approach for the final presentation and all. And running the restaurant in London, there's another challenge because people they can't wait. We make sure our starter dish out from kitchen less than 10 minutes, so people they don't need to wait for long, and there's a standard procedure for that. So we try and accommodate all those dishes. The execution is the important part because
Very
during the
important.
busy service, you have to be very quick. Even though in terms of using 4 or 5 different elements on the plate, so you have to be careful creating the dishes, putting on the menu. So this is our first thing: execution, quick execution, and obviously seasonal produce. So and the presentation, to make sure to make it consistent. So we try and do all this practice first couple of times, couple of days, then finally after that, if everyone is comfortable, the taste is consistent, the plate looks fabulous, then the dish will go on the menu.
On the- And I can relate. I mean, definitely, those who are working in the industry, they can relate how strenuous process is. It's not easy. I mean, the way we are saying it, that multiple times trial, consistency, team training, it takes a lot of patience and time and hard work to make it
It is.
possible. It is. And those who are thinking of coming to the industry, and I believe they will get that clear message that how things has happened. I mean, as you say, 25 years, not a matter of joke. I believe many people left the industry. Many people consider that they're not going to do that. And then there are those who are continuously doing the same work every day in a different approach and m- making the success. Chef, one dish I would like to know, one dish which is you are emotionally connected and you try to keep it always in the menu.
See, the one dish I would say it could be a chicken tikka masala. Very basic, very classic, because uh, this is somehow it's close to my heart because I've done the this dish first time my own when I started working with the Oberoi Hotel. I'm not saying it's invented by me, but obviously chicken tikka masala. There's a story, like as I said, when I started my career, that is the dish I made it my own. So always try and consider and make it, the perfect the sauce for that and the marination for the chicken. That is the key, and obviously that is one of the hot selling dish at my restaurant in Kutir. So that obviously that could be the one. And secondly, I've done the khichdi because khichdi is very staple food to each and everyone in India. So my mother used to make it khichdi with yellow lentil, tur dal,
Hmm.
and I don't like khichdi with the green one, but traditionally it should be with the green one, green lentil.
Green.
But I don't like it, and obviously my mother used to make it very very simple khichdi, and obviously when khichdi is like when people they don't feel comfortable, they are little unwell, the tummy is not in their favor, then obviously even though the doctor also make the recommendation have khichdi with dahi or raita, something like that. So
Yes.
we create the khichdi, and it was one of the biggest hit in London at my places. So I've done the little, tweak. I've tweaked the recipe because there's a lot of, ingredients in UK. The one of the best ingredients we are getting here. So we create the khichdi with the truffle. Truffle is one of the most expensive and exotic ingredient. So the combination we have done it. We made the wild mushroom mix of wild mushroom stir fry and use lot of truffle oil, truffle paste, and obviously the fresh truffle shades on top of it. And we used to serve with classic accompaniments like roasted pepper, raita, and the homemade pickle. And people, it was so simple, but the thought process, even though it was so simple as well, but to make it executed, it I have to work little bit, couple of days to make it easy and smooth for the operation. Otherwise, the dish was so successful and people they keep loving it. Even though next week I'm changing the menu, getting a lot of requests, so consider that. And I'm gonna bring it that khichdi during the lunch service for the lunch menu. It will be on the menu
Yeah,
back on.
I know. I
Mhm.
mean, people are requesting because uh, I don't know if you have this thing or not, chef. Like when I'm cooking something, like as you told, khichdi and mushroom. So the first dish which I learned other dishes, but this one was very special, mushroom risotto. So
Mushroom risotto, yes.
yes, so and it used to be my dinner every day because I wanted to be the perfect of making a mushroom risotto. That time, I was a commie, and my CDPs used to call me risotto because of my dinner practice. And then a certain time came. I don't know if it is happens with you or not. When I cook something, and if I find that 4 5 times it became perfect, then I think of to change it in my next menu because I believe that I have done it. Now there's no more experiment or fun into it. So let's do something new. Is it happen with you as well?
We keep doing it, the experiment things. It's not about the couple of, signature. I've got every single restaurant have my own signature dishes. So we keep doing it, even though at Kutir I made another combination with a quail egg. So it's a stuffed naan bread, quail naan. We call it quail naan. So it's stuffed with the quail mince meat and scrambled egg on top, and a lot of fresh truffle uh, on top of it, truffle shapes. That is the dish. It's still on the menu since we opened the door of Kuti, and people they keep loving it. Some kind of the different combination and experimental things works really well, and people they appreciate your efforts as well. So we keep doing it. It's not about one or two dishes. I really want to have something unique and different. Even though Manthan, we have a very popular dessert trio of classic. It's a combination of three classical Indian dessert called besan laddu, gulab jamun,
Yes.
and shrikhand. So,
I think,
and a lot of people, especially, they just come to have that dessert after their dinner because they're loving it. We convert the conception of serving classic Indian dessert because I personally, as you know as well, uh, working in India, being Indian, obviously the Indian classical desserts are very rich and too sweet.
too sweet.
So yeah, so we always try and do. I personally like to do Indian dessert, but obviously not their own. I always try and put some sort of tweaks on the recipe, little exciting thing or combination with something else to make it a perfect combination for the dessert.
Uh, so chef, like I'm sure it's very short time. You have done three great projects. Is there anything cooking behind? I mean, what's next?
See the project because as I said, we always take little while because Vatavaran is the most important thing for us. So we're gonna put a lot of focus on the Vatavaran at the moment, and I've done my book before the launch of the Vatavaran. So my book is coming. The next book is lined up for the launch in April.
Oh, great. Wish you all the very best for the book.
Thank
I mean, we will be waiting. I'm sure there are food enthusiasts and culinary people definitely wait for that.
you.
Now,
Yeah,
as we
it's
are all,
yeah.
no, no,
Go on.
please, chef.
No, no, that's absolutely fine. Please go on.
Yes. So, as we are almost on the end of this uh, podcast, there are few questions. I would say, rapid fire question kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, we'll do that quickly
Yeah,
before we wrap up this conversation. Though I
sure.
think for me it's very difficult, and I was pretty, I mean, quite nervous. But I think the initial conversation made me a little. Uh, it made it easier to communicate with you because those who are working in this industry and senior than me. For me, it is always I feel like I'm talking somebody in the kitchen, and I always want to be that attentive student to what my chef is saying. So, uh, so the first question, if you could cook a meal for anyone, I mean, maybe they are not right now with us, but anybody, who would it be, and what meal you would like to prepare?
See, obviously, as you said, it's not possible if they are uh, with us or not. But obviously, I love to cook a meal for my dad. He's not more, not anymore. But he loved to have. He was the the proper foodie in our family. So being Punjabi, his love for the the saag, the Punjabi dish, a very popular dish, makke sarson ka saag and makke ki roti. Even though I've done the little modern version as well in London, so made the tart with the makke ki roti and obviously the sarson ka saag and blobs of homemade butter and a little bit of the homemade pickle on the side. That's how we used to have it at home. But obviously, yeah. So I would love to make that for him. Sarson ka saag and makke ki roti.
Okay, so it's the same emotion. My dad never told me that you cook good food, but whenever I cook, if it is late night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, he
Hmm.
used to awake to taste the food, and then he used to go to sleep. But he never told that you cook good food.
All
Uh,
right.
Next question, Chef. What's the guilt pleasure food you love but you never put on a restaurant menu?
See, I personally I don't like the papaya, the ripe papaya. I've done a lot of experiment, even though the raw papaya I love using it. So I always consider, but not the ripe ones. Otherwise, I love enjoy using different ingredients, everything. I like the challenges and all. But the raw papaya, I don't like it, even though the flavor, the smell.
Even I also don't like it, the raw papaya. I don't like it. So y- we are a chef, but like when people ask me that chef or any other profession, I say I might be, I don't know what else, begging or something, but I wanted to be here only cooking. That's it. So is there any another profession? अगर आप chef नहीं होते तो what it could be?
To be honest, since I jump into this industry, it's been 25 years. I never look back, and I don't think I could even thought of doing something else. But obviously, author, I would like to be author, and with the God grace and people support, I've got that opportunity as well. So done my first book 2 years back. That was mainly focused on vegan and vegetarian, and now I finished my second one as well. So I could be an author, to be honest. Otherwise, I can't live without whatever we are doing and spend so many years being chef. So I think there's no point or time to think about something else. But in early days, I could be author.
Awesome. Okay. Okay. Great. So, Shiv, the last question, one thing, because I really wanted to ask it, though it was not typically mentioned. But I want to know your insight about the magazine that definitely Tamali has started. And then I joined her in that because of only one thing, with the love of food, the affection of food, and to be a magazine who will create a space for everybody. It's not like that only this category of people will get, not this category of people won't get. On that note, so what is your insight about Food Star? What do you think about this thing? And
To be
we were
honest,
very lucky to get your recipes and you as a part of it.
see, it's not about. To be honest, it's not like we are talking each other, and obviously, Tamali, she has done a very beautiful job, and obviously, I would say, being in the industry, this is the right approach for the foodie people. Although it will create a lot of awareness in the market, it's not about the recipe. Recipe, it's a good platform. People wanted to have after the COVID situation. They spend a lot of time. Lot of people they spend a lot of time at home. So most of them they become foodie because there was no time for the school or office or anything. Everything was shut during the COVID time. So I think the new skill came inside in a lot of people. They wanted to have something. They wanted to make some, the healthy version of this thing. So I would consider in your magazine if you share, a lot of people's story, their approaches, and obviously a lot of healthy and quick recipes that will make people's life easier. And nowadays people really wanted to have a healthy version of food, and
Yes,
obviously rather than making very complicated, we should consider having one column or a weekly, I would say, add-on dishes that could be done in a few minutes, and using the same platform. Awareness, obviously, it's one of the biggest thing. Secondly, the entire magazine, I think it's dedicated to the industry, I believe.
yes,
So all in
yes,
all, the combination and the approach, I like the idea. That's how I agree to be on your podcast. And obviously, I try and give little support from my side, the recipes, the
yes,
signature
absolutely.
recipes, and all. So I think this is the best approach to make the awareness in the market. But obviously, considering a lot of healthy versions of recipe, that could be another success story. And I believe people definitely going to love this. And I wish you and Tamali a lot of luck and a lot of success for this magazine.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chef. Thank you for sharing your journey, insight, and your story with us. I'm sure that the way you are, the way you have inspired us, that thing will go on. Because we, those who are working and those who have started our career, this is something that we always look after. And it is not always that you work with somebody and then you learn something. You learn something by watching someone as well. And that mentorship is always there. Uh, I mean, those who are gonna watch this, and if you are in London, I'm sure most of the London has already visited your restaurant, but still those who haven't, they should go to your place to experience this fantastic cuisine that you are putting there with your heritage, with your culture, and with your modern approach. Uh, I would like to thank you, Chef. Thank you so much.
No, no, no problem at all. Pleasure or mine. And obviously, I love to share my journey with all your audience always. So thank you so much considering me for that absolutely fantastic opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.